Hello, everyone. Welcome to another soulful sip conversation. I would like to invite you to grab one of your favorite drinks, tea or coffee, and join me for another deep contemplation. Today, we will talk about intuition. I will share a couple examples from my personal life and maybe contemplate about how I am sometimes trusting intuition in the decision making process. Then I would like to end with a couple personal exercises that you might try in your own personal lives to be able to exercise more of the wisdom that's coming from the depths of your soul. Okay. Um, when we think and talk about intuition, I think the first practical use case for intuition is real decision making. In today's world, especially in the Western world, we are used to making many and almost most of our decisions by our minds, by our intellect. And there are different framings in psychology about this type of process. We have two types of thinking. One is slower, more methodological, using our mind and intelligence, while we look into different scenarios, make some analysis, pros and cons, and try to, in a more strategic manner, determine the outcomes. This process is heavily mind focused and it's a little bit slower. The other side of the operating model is the one that we might affiliate with intuition, that inner knowing, that gut feeling that we sometimes feel without a rational explanation. In terms of its processing, it's a lot more holistic in its approach. And because it's also leveraging quite a lot of unconscious signs and signals from all around us, we might not be able to, from a logic and rational perspective, understand where the decision is coming from. But in our bodies, in the depths of our wisdom, something feels right. And that processing system is fast. It's like blink of an eye. I think Malcolm Gladwell's book, Blink, also talks about this concept very nicely. It's that immediate, intuitive knowing. So, like I said, I think in today's world, through our education system, through the way that we operate in the business world as well, we are so used to always relying on logic, which is wonderful and beautiful. And I would like to highlight that in my personal life and in my perspective in life, there is a benefit for leveraging both of the systems. So I'm not disregarding the value of rational thinking and logic here. But especially when we are in need of a quick decision and when we don't have too much time to make analysis, that's number one. Number two is sometimes our minds have a limited analysis power. If the parameters that you are considering for your decision making process is really a handful, you can run some mindful analysis and use your rationale. But if this is a very deep problem that you are trying to solve, and there are so many parameters, you need a more holistic and perspective vision. And in that sense, your intuition, that heart knowing, that internal body wisdom might be the right way to go. A couple years ago, I attended a data conference in New York. Data Driven is the name of the monthly meetup, actually. One of the sessions was in One World Trade Center. And I was inspired by one of the presenters. And of course, it's a data conference, and the whole essence of the conference is literally using data to be able to make decisions. Something in that discussion triggered me to really think about the role of data in decision making process. And I remember it was a cold winter night at the end of the session. While I was heading back to home, I was contemplating this difference between intelligence and intuition. And I was wondering in which cases it makes sense to use intuition and in which cases we might rely on wisdom or intuition more. Or I was also thinking, like, how should we make decisions? It's just such a sweet coincidence. In a couple hours, when I got back to home, I poured myself a tea. And of course, at the back of my mind, I was holding that question somewhere. And when I just sit down to relax into the night, I just realized the little small wisdom that was shared by the tea. The tea has little small wisdom quotes in it. And the quote was talking about a different answer to the question that I was holding in my heart. The wisdom is coming from Blaise Pascal. We know the truth not only by the reason, but also by the heart. To me, this was a beautiful answer that really highlights the importance of complementing our decision making process, rational thinking, with the wisdom of the heart, wisdom of our bodies, wisdom of our inner sight that we call as intuition. And it was such a synchronicity to be able to get this answer literally in a couple hours after I was holding that question in the depths of my heart. And I think this was such a beautiful way of inviting more wisdom into your life. Whenever I would like to get an answer, not from a rational perspective, but from a more intuitive sense, the first thing that I usually do is really share an intention. Just ask a question like, how do we know the truth? By intelligence or by intuition? Is it by mind or by the heart? The first thing is sharing a simple intention in the form of a question. Then, secondly, somehow, because you are holding that space with that intention, your attention will grab something and answer. In this particular example, the answer came in the form of a little small wisdom emerging from tea. And I was able to see it because it was directly the answer that I was looking for with the intention. So when you ask the question and hold the intention, then naturally your attention will grab some interesting facts in real life that will give you some more contemplation points, some more wisdom, and you will know the answer. Then the third point is you can take actions accordingly, holding an intention that will direct your attention so that you will receive the intuitive wisdom that can guide your next steps or help you to have a different kind of perspective. And just recently, I was actually reading another book that I discovered by intuition too. In this book, the author was talking about a different kind of framework about, once again, decision making. One is related to choices, which is the rational, logical process. The other one is chance, working with life, working with universe, and working with our intuitive, holistic senses to tell us which decision might be the right one to go or which opportunity might be the right one to choose. So it's a sweet dance of our mind-oriented choices, rational decisions, analysis, intelligence. But on the other side, we have chance, synchronicities, trusting our intuition, trusting the flow of life, and learning and integrating that wisdom into how we go through life. And I told you that I will share a brief example about how I find the book. So this was quite a few weeks ago. It was my first time in a local library. And I just wanted to discover something new, but I wanted to trust my wisdom. So with that intention, I just walked in without knowing anything about the library, where I'm supposed to find what. I just followed my intuition. I still remember coming from the entrance, taking the stairs to the second floor, turning right, and magically finding myself in a place very much aligned with what I was currently interested in exploring at that stage in my life. I'm currently looking into fairy tale stories and different myths about creativity and about storytelling. And I ended up in a place where I was able to find exactly the books aligned with that personal interest of mine. And intuitively, once again, I was able to find the book that I had no idea about the concept, about the author, but it turned out to be one of the best books I had the opportunity to read quite recently, and it was 100% aligned with what my heart was eager to explore further. Can you see the synchronicities? I just hold the intention saying that, hey, I am ready to open more chances in my life. And with that intention, I just walked into the library. Intuitively, I followed where my body was guiding me. And I turned out to find a beautiful book. So something grabbed my attention, and out of that attention, when I honored that wisdom, intuitive wisdom, and finally finished the book that I am ready to return. And by the way, I'm happy to share the details. The name of the book is Trickster Makes This World by Lewis Hyde. Beautiful author, beautiful book that I would strongly recommend if you're interested in creativity and its role in our culture. But anyway, so it was just another sweet example of leveraging intuition in my life to be able to gain more insights, to be able to make better and different decisions related to some of the things that I was exploring in my life. And I just followed again the simple steps, holding an intention, with that intention, just walking in and letting my body and my body's wisdom, with that ease and playfulness, guide my attention towards the right resource. And then, after trusting that wisdom and consuming the resource, I was able to take quite a lot of interesting actions that I was not probably able to do if I wanted to plan things with my mind. And to me, this is really the magic of intuition. And this has been a personal practice that I've been playing with quite a long time, just asking a question and getting the answer from the wisdom of the books. So if you would like to maybe try exercising your intuition in a safe context, not for big life decisions if you are not ready for it, but just for learning new things, for gaining new insights and seeing things maybe from different angle that you might not be able to see with your limited mind, you can also play this trick. I would like to invite you to explore your library if you have one in your home, or go to a big bookstore. Or if you have a big library in the city or surrounding, just play with an exploration. The first step is really holding an intention. This could be a question, something that you need more clarity about. And by holding that intention, just walk into that bookstore. Just walk towards that library in your home. Walk towards the library in your local setting and let your attention to guide you towards the right resource. And see whether chance will tell you something new, something different. All I can say is really this is a very playful way of exploring new things, integrating new things into your being as well. And it's so easy and you're not losing anything. The worst thing that can happen is really if you already had an answer from a mental perspective, you might just get another confirmation. So I hope this gives you some interest to explore the intuitive side of the wisdom that we all carry in our bodies. And it's really important sometimes to really open up space for that wisdom to come out. It's wonderful to strategically think about many of the things with our minds. And once again, I'm not disregarding the value of rational thinking, but what if we complement that thinking with trusting our inner wisdom, by trusting the intuition that we innately have in us, waiting for our invitation to come out. And in my life, books have been always the greatest teachers, sharing the wisdom that I needed when I needed the most. So I would like to use this also as an invitation for you to familiarize yourself with the libraries around you. And I hope this also inspires you to be closer with the books, who have been, like I said, one of my greatest teachers in the world. They have also so much wisdom that can help us to broaden our perspective and invite our intuition. I think that's it for now. So if you try this, I would like to really hear more about your experiences as well. So please contribute, share it in the comments. And as always, remember that you are beautiful. I hope you awaken that inner beauty, trust that inner wisdom and intuition, and with its guidance, bring more of your beauty out to the world. And as always, if you would like to explore more of my creations, please explore other links. All of the links will be down below. And I would like to hear back from you as always. Till next time, stay beautiful.